Good afternoon and welcome to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. How are you all doing? We may spend some time. It says here, I am not a slave. Um, that's my belief. I will not accept anybody seeing me or putting me in that frame. I am an African and I'm a proud African. I believe and I celebrate my ancestors. As we start this broadcast, may our ancestors be with us. Um, Let me see if I can add a goal. I want to see if I can add a goal. Yeah, let's get to, yeah. Anyway, we will continue the broadcast. Please do share. We welcome you on board. And we greet you, those of you that are on our YouTube. Thank you very much. And on TikTok, thank you very much. And good afternoon and welcome on board. Um, it's been a minute, I'd said at the back. This broadcast today may take some time, but that's fine. Please do share when you come in. Do share. Um, Africa Zoom, I'm going to try and see if I can do it later on today. If not, it'll be next week, but I will try. It's been very hectic the last few days, and let's just say I had one of my very close friends um, has joined our ancestors. I mean, it's painful. Um, yeah, it is painful. I wasn't going to talk about it initially, but um, please do continue to just bear with me. It was a shock, and I spoke to my friend a couple of weeks back, and we were supposed to meet up. Um, I wasn't going to talk about it on the show, but sometimes what I would say to us all, please let's make a call to our friend. Make that call. All of us, myself, remind myself as well. Let us make that call to our friends. Find out how they're doing. Um, yeah. As I think about it, it's heavy. It's very, very heavy. But, well, we will persevere. Please share the broadcast. Help us grow the platform. Um, I'm going to try and see if I can really build things going forward and just try and, we're grateful. I'm appreciative of having them in my life, and even though they've moved on. Um, yeah, it was a tough day yesterday, to be honest. It was a tough day yesterday. It was a really tough day yesterday. I'm not gonna try to hide that. And it is even still tough now. I don't want to mention the name yet because I don't want to say anything. Let's see what they're close friends, but the family are doing one or two things, and I wouldn't want to interfere in that. I'm gonna let the family dictate where things go and how we do it. All I would just say is for us all of us, if you have friends, please reach out to them and talk to them and let them know that just be in touch, just be in touch. Uh, Not watching live. Okay, I'll invite, 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 I'll invite. I'm going to invite everybody who I can think of. If you can join me, you join me. If you can't, I understand. Um, just help us share the broadcast because it's very important what we're doing here. I'm going to, like I said, yesterday was a really tough day. Um, when you lose someone very close, someone that you are in tune with, and I mean, this person, they're always very, um, they're there. They help. They listen. They communicate. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon. and then suddenly they're no more, and that is difficult in the best of circumstances. It is difficult to deal with that. It's difficult. Sorry, I don't want. I'm just gonna talk for a while. Sorry. So it's difficult. Put it that way. I find it very, very difficult. Um, and this broadcast, I wasn't. Yesterday morning I had something else in mind, but today, obviously, with the death of a friend, it is difficult. But we will proceed nonetheless. We will proceed. We will, you know, make sure they would want us to carry on and do things, and they've joined our ancestors. And yeah, it's it's very tough. I'm not gonna lie, it's very, very tough. I'll put it in there, and those who can join me can join me. Um, it's very difficult. We're trying to do what we can, but I greet you all. I greet you all. And as I'm thinking of my friend, I'm thinking my mind is going into just seeing them with our ancestors now, and it is so sudden. It is really sudden that we've lost someone very, very close, and it takes a while to get used to. It takes not get used to, but to really accept it. So please, just if you have friends, reach out, talk to them. I'm in some respect, I comfort myself with the fact that we spoke and we were to meet, but obviously it wasn't to be that we will get to meet up, and that is very, very hard. It's a tough one. That's a tough break. But in the struggle that we're in, I'm sure they're with us. And I say to my ancestors, our Iludumari, Ekwensu, and all our African gods, as as they leave this earth, please accept them with open arms. And you know, they're now part of our ancestors, and we're grateful for the time she spent with us. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna mention names, but it is tough. It is very, very tough. Um, Tears were shed yesterday, because it was just so sudden, and sometimes you always expect people will always be there. They were that tough side of a person. They will always be there somehow. Very generous of heart, willing to help anybody. I mean, I wasn't gonna do this on air, but yeah, just call your friends. Just reach out. Myself as well. Reach out. Make sure you reach out to your friends. Make that call. Even if it's a few minutes, just make that call. Please don't, um, yeah, make that call, please. I urge you, make that call. Okay, I might still talk about them, and I know they are with us. Many people are impacted by the loss of this one person. Many, many people. The family, obviously, close friends like myself and others, and the extended group of people. I mean, it's just been totally devastating. And I pray that may their soul rest in peace. We're going to be, obviously, I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't, it's not something that I'm going to talk about openly, so and mention names or anything, because that's respecting of their family and, the discussions, and we'll get updates. I'll go and pay my respects at the time they announced the funeral. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying it, and it's difficult. You can see that my normal self is not really firing at the minute, but it will fire in a minute, I'm hoping. but I wanted you to join me. Please share. Please follow us on TikTok. Help us grow the platform. We are grateful for your support. Fusia, welcome on board. And everybody, please do share. Please share this broadcast. We're going to talk about something today. And in honor of my our departed friend, we're going to continue this journey of ours of wakening up Africans, fellow Africans, because that's what we need to do. They would want us to continue. They know how passionately myself and others are on this struggle of awakening Africans, and they wouldn't want us to stop. They would want us to carry on, and the beauty of this person is that they really beautiful inside and out. They really did care. Humanity was their strong point. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna hold this together. I'm gonna hold this together. I have to. Now let's look on the screen. I'm still gonna be touching in. Before we go ahead, may it please our ancestors as we're gonna start this broadcast today. We ask our ancestors for blessings, for guidance, for protection, for favorable wind, for unity, to make Africans, to help Africans realize that our unity is our strength for us to be able to achieve our common aim as Africans. We're not here to hate anybody else, Arabs or Europeans. We're not here for that. We are here as Africans to unite, to fulfill the destiny, the true destiny of Africans in their own land, to be able to begin to actually uh, feed ourselves, to make our cars, to make our clothes, to to be totally free, mind, to be free mentally, physically, emotionally, to be able to carry, say our, to portray Africa in the vein that we wish to see it as Africans. May our ancestors guide us. May they be part of what we're doing. May they steer us away from all of those things that will be harmful to us. May they protect us all. And I know as we speak, they course through our veins, and we ask for their blessings and their favor to be able to achieve unity in Africa. Ashe, ashe, ashe. So it shall be. It shall be. Okay, so good afternoon and welcome. Good afternoon and welcome to you all. Now, you can see the picture behind me. There is a flag of the USA at the top. At the bottom is the flag of Russia. And in between, there is a barbed wire. You can see there's a barbed wire in the middle of that. And in the description, I'll read the description. It says, only a barbed wire separates USA, who are refusing to leave Niger, while the Russians are on the other side of the barbed wire in Niger. Could World War III start on the African soil? What are your thoughts? Bearing in mind that as we speak now, the Ukraine war is being heavily funded by US and Europe, against Russia. We find it astonishing that US are refusing to leave Niger. And the danger in that is that the two of them that have been having waging wars and being kept apart, and as we said, NATO have said they're not going to interfere. They're only going to help try and provide weapons for Ukraine, and they will not step in. Fine, we get that. But what is going on right now is that those superpowers, the two superpowers, USA and Russia, they are on the African continent. Could a mistake happen that could trigger World War III? It's what asking that question. And the question is, the reason why I'm asking this is USA are refusing to leave Niger. The USA are refusing to leave Niger. Niger, a sovereign country, has said to the US, leave our nation. Leave our nation. I'll show you some things if I can find it. 1 second, let me see if I can find it. Is that it? I want to make sure you can see something. So this is even I'm showing you. I'm going to show you pictures and things. This is by the BBC. Yeah. So I'm just showing you. You will not be able to see it on TikTok, but please subscribe to us on YouTube and you'll be able to follow. Good afternoon, Bright. Good afternoon to those of you joining. Please do share this broadcast. Now, and please give us, hit the like button and share the broadcast. Please, the more you share it, the more you will help us grow the platform and help us follow. Follow us on TikTok and help us grow the platform. Thank you very much. So, those of you that are on YouTube, you will see that picture. And it shows you Russians sent out to Niger Air Base occupied by US troops. Now, it depends on how you do it. The Nigerian government and the people, and in the picture that you see, on there, it says US Army get out. The people of Niger are saying to the US Army, get out. That is what you're seeing. The people of Niger are saying to the US Army, please get out. But the US Army so far are refusing to leave. And that could be a danger. When you are not wanted, and this should serve as a warning, a warning to all other African countries. When you now say you want them out, it's fine. They're going to make all promises that they can come in just to be able to come into your land, into your nation. Once they come in, they don't want to leave. They don't want to leave, as evidenced by what is going on. USA don't want to leave Niger. Now, why don't they want to leave Niger? Let us look at what resources they have in Niger. Because people don't understand. I'm going to read to you. I've done this before, but I'm going to do it again. Resources in Niger, mineral resources in Niger. Yeah. I believe France are making the way to leave. But I want to mineral resources in Niger. Yeah. Let me just see. I'm going to read that out. And those of you who are on YouTube, you'll be able to see me type this up. Mineral resources in Niger. Resources in Niger. So do bear with me. I'm going to read this out to you. So we can now begin to understand why they don't want to leave. Yeah, mineral resources in Niger. Now, there's a list of resources that are in Niger from what we hear. Right. So I've got the list. You can see it on the screen. Gold reserves, 32 tons, operating mine, 1 in Niger. Gypsum and limestone, reserves not assessed. Uranium, 480,000 tons of uranium. Coal, 75 million tons of coal. Iron reserves, 1.2 billion tons of iron. Phosphate reserves, 1.255 billion. Salt, more than 6 billion. Industrial materials, copper, zinc, tin, marble. That is why the US don't want to leave Niger. That is why the US don't want to leave Niger. When you are, and don't listen to this lie when they say, oh, we are trying to stay there to make sure there's peace. No, they don't. They're not interested in peace. What I read to you on the screen now is why the US are in Niger. They are in Niger because of the resources that the Nigerian people have. And they want to be able to use the army to cause destabilization and then cut off those resources with the same trucks, with the same military trucks they use to cause disunity, chaos, and provide weapons for mercenaries, So we need to know that as Africans. Please do share this broadcast. I'm not seeing anybody sharing it yet. Yes. Yes, good afternoon. Yes, with all our resources and we're still poor. Exactly. But the reason I'm saying that, we have to understand we're not poor. There are people making steps to prevent us from taking action. There are steps. That is why Niger deliberately put, Niger government deliberately put the Russian 1,000 troops to match the 1,000 troops that the US currently has in Niger. They put them in the same base. They put them in the same base. So let me just I'll pin that comment. Yes, welcome aboard, my sister. So we need to understand that right now Niger are asking for the US to leave. Let me see the updates. I'll give you updates on that. Niger asks, insists. Let me see. US must leave. Must leave. So let's go and look at this. And then we'll read what the US said. Niger insists US must leave. Now, listen to this. Now, they've already started. The US are saying something. The government of Niger has asked the military to leave, even though there's a critical drone base there that's keeping terrorism in check. Did you hear? They said the government of Niger has asked the US military to leave, even though there's a critical drone base there that's keeping terrorism in check. Is terrorism being kept in check? You remind me of Lucas Coombs. Jaji. Oh, thank you. Oh, well, I take that as a compliment. Please, yeah. So, it's very, very important to understand what we're saying here. The US don't want to leave. The Nigerian people have said, and I've showed you on the map, that they want US to leave. They keep putting out placards and they say, US leave. The US now say they are now putting the interest of US above that of the Nigerian people, who have said to the US, leave our land. We don't want you. Now, what part of it? Coombs, okay. Oh, say happy birthday. Okay, I'll say happy birthday to who? Coombs. Happy birthday, Coombs. Jaji just said that, and I'll put that. Yes, happy birthday, Coombs. Thank you. I'm happy. I wish you many more years to come, Coombs. You know. Yeah, no problem, Jaji. No problem at all. And we're all, why not? Yeah. We have never seen the result of them taking exactly. Yes, thank you. That is what we need to be doing. We need as Africans to be asking this question. Please, those of you who are in the church, who are in the mosque, lend me your ears. Lend me your ears. Whilst you are busy talking about, oh, Islam is the way forward, Christianity is the way forward, this is what the US is doing. US brought evangelism. US brought Jehovah Witness into Africa. Did you know that? US. Jehovah Witness came from the US. Did you know that? But the same US that brought that Jehovah Witness, the government of Niger is telling them to leave. But the US are refusing to leave. So they said, the government of Niger has asked US military to leave, even though there's a critical drone base that's there that's keeping terrorism in check. Which terrorism is being kept in check? I can tell you for the fact, Nigeria is a fellow country. There is a proliferation of bandits with weapons, very sophisticated weapons that can only be sourced from Western powers. So please tell me, what are they keeping in check? If anything, they are aiding the this disunity, the lack of trust, the impoverishment of the people. I listed to you the list of resources in Niger. And as Africans, again, those of you supporting Christianity, those of you supporting Islam, pay attention to what we are saying to you. The US is refusing to leave. Please put that religion to one side. Ask that question. Why are they refusing to leave? And what is the implication of the US refusing to leave? Knowing fully well that right next to them, like in the picture, there's a barbed wire separating the US and Russia on the African continent. Nigerian people have said to US, you have overstayed your welcome. Please go. And what the US should do is to respect the democracy, the right of the people, the will of the people who are out protesting. I'll get you pictures if I can get a picture up again. Those of you who are on YouTube are the ones who will be able to see this, but you'll have to take my word for it, those of you on TikTok. Please follow us, share this broadcast. Let us reach as many people as possible. We do need your support. Sandra, good afternoon and welcome. We need to be very, very clear about this. The people of Niger have said, Saeed, welcome. The people of Niger have said to US, please leave our land. We don't want you. We don't need you. You must move out of our land. US are always talking about respecting sovereignty. The actions of the US in refusing to leave from a land where they've been expressly told by the people and the government, judging by the placards I'm about to show you, saying, please, US, leave. No negotiation. We don't want you. Go. Leave our land. And the US is refusing to leave. The US is refusing to leave. And that is what we're talking about. That is why we're saying what we're saying. I urge you, don't be a bystander in this. Participate. So let me see if I can find that picture. I think I showed it yesterday, but I'll try and get it up. US leave. So let me see if I can find that picture. Yeah, I'm going to show you that picture now. Okay, so I want you to see it. So you will see it come up now, those of you on YouTube. TikTok, I'm not too au fait with changing it. But on YouTube, you will see it. So the Nigerians say to the US Army, you leave. You must vanish. You must vanish. No bonus, no negotiation. And there is people. These are Nigerian people saying this. Is it that the US and the US, I think the French are leaving. Is it that the US don't understand what they have been said? Otito, thank you very much. Please like this live and share it. Please share. And we need as many African Christians, as many Islamic Africans to join Muslim Africans to join this broadcast. Because whilst you are talking about your prayer, whilst you are talking about Islam and espousing that Islam is good and all that, if this war, if something happens, there's only a barbed wire. There's only a barbed wire between the US and Russia. There's only a barbed wire. And if there's any mistake whatsoever, I say this because let me show you something. Again, I don't want to just, I'll show you the picture of the protest and I'll keep bringing it back. But I want to take you to something here. How many of you remember the Pearl Harbor? How many of you remember the Pearl Harbor? Because we have to be forward thinking as Africans. How many of us remember the Pearl Harbor? Yeah? Now, attack. False flag. Let me see. I think it's false flag, if I'm correct. Attack. Yeah? Let me see. Because there are a lot of things that I've said that now. Yeah, let me see. Yeah. Okay. Now, I'm going to read something here. This is, of course, on Wikipedia. Pearl Harbor Advanced Knowledge Conspiracy Theory. I don't know. I mean, I'm just reading. I'm just going. We need to think about this. So, they said here, ever since Japanese attack, there's been debate as to why now and how US was caught off guard and how much when American officials knew Japanese plans for the attack in 1944. The Non-Interventionist American Force Committee launched a Pearl Harbor counter narrative when they published a 46-page booklet. Anyway, the point I'm making, I'm not going to go into too much detail because I'm not here for conspiracy theory. But what I'm saying is that, one, Niger they've told US, leave our sovereign land. We are no longer interested in what you are doing. We need you to leave. And here's what the US government has said. It says here, on the third week, the hunt with the WTOP National Security Correspondent J.J. Green, Dr. Hans Jacob Schindler, Senior Director, Counter Extremism Project, breaks down these consequences. Now, I'm about to play you something. Let me play you something. When I play it, it is from the point of view of the US. Now, the US are now trying to justify why they must stay in Niger, even though, let me show you, there's a plethora of evidence showing that the Nigerian people, the Nigerian government, want the US out of their land. But listen to what they are going to say. Listen to this. This is what they are going to say about it. Listen. Watch now, if I can play it.
Well, thank you so much for having me, JJ. This is really bad for several reasons. The least of the problems is this is really bad for the US taxpayer because the US has really built up its military presence in Niger over the last couple of years, constructing a new drone base that costs, several $billions as far as I understand. So it was a very large investment.
Hold on.
Because Niger was the linchpin of counterterrorism.
Let's go back again. Can I drag it back? Yeah, okay.
Operations and migration flow control, not only for the US, but also for the European Union. And now after the military coup, the government of Niger is slowly but very distinctly turning towards Russia and has already asked the European Union to leave the country and end all police and intelligence and military cooperation. Not that the European Union was very keen to continue that cooperation with the government that came to power by force.
Yeah.
But it's also now asking the US military to leave, and that is a real big problem.
If the US leaves, then what does that open the door to? You say that's a really big problem, so explain why.
Look, once the US, the 1,000 US military personnel that runs primarily the base is gone, quite literally, we are blind and deaf in the region because those drones.
Did you hear what they said? Quite literally, we are blind and deaf in the region if they leave. So they are more interested in what they want, not what the people of Niger want. Can you imagine anybody in Africa saying to anybody in Europe or the US, please, we are going to leave our base in your land and you have to let it stay there because it is of interest to us. We don't care about your interest. It's our interest. What do you think will happen? Because this is what they are trying to do to Africans. And this is why when I say to you, when you are talking about religion of Islam and Christianity, please, it is deception. This is a big problem. Not only Niger, the entire African continent, there are at least 20 nations that they have bases in which those bases they are used to extract our resources whilst causing division among the people. You heard the man say we are blind. Let us listen on. Let us listen on.
Drones were not just for kinetic operations within the region, but also for intelligence gathering throughout the region.
Did you know that the US can gather intelligence in the region? And from the government, and they will keep that intelligence away from the very government that they've asked permission to have the base in their country. But some people will be talking about Allah Akbar, God is great. Jesus Christ is the Savior. Jesus Christ will not save you from this World War III if it breaks out on the African continent. And that is the reality. That is why I am saying what I'm saying. Many Africans seem to believe that there's nothing that their prayer to the God of Christianity and the God of Islam, there's nothing you cannot do. You're wrong, oh. You're very, very wrong. This is what they are planning to do. This is literally this is yesterday. What I'm showing you, what I'm playing to you is from yesterday. Today is the 9th of May, which is Ojo Batala, the end of the week in Yoruba calendar. Ojo Batala. Let's listen on.
And it's the only base that can do this in the entire region of West Africa, where we have now a large swathe of territory, as we discussed in previous interviews, controlled by either Al-Qaeda,
now they say they're controlled by either Al-Qaeda. How did those Al-Qaeda that you mentioned, how did they end up having control? Where are they getting the weapons? Do you see that? Please, any Muslim or any Christian, send this to them. How is their prayer stopping what the damage that is being done by the US by creating division in Africa because of African resources? How is their prayer stopping this? I'm just asking a simple question. How is their prayer stopping this? How is their prayer? Please give us thumbs up, share the broadcast, leave a comment. We will endeavor to read as much as I can. Pearl Harbor is old, but I think it's about the war. Think about the war in Syria and Libya while the war was going on. Looting. Exactly. It's looting. Exactly. That's the point. They do not want us to have that information, but let's listen on anyway.
Well, thank you so much for having me, JJ. This is really bad for several reasons. The least of the problems is this is really bad for the US taxpayer, because the US has really built up its military presence in Niger over the last couple of years, constructing a new drone base. That costs, several $1 billion as far as I understand. So it was a very large investment. Because Niger was the linchpin of counterterrorism operations and migration flow control, not only for the US, but also for the European Union. And now after the military coup, the government of Niger is slowly but very distinctly turning towards Russia, and has already asked the European Union to leave the country and end all police and intelligence and military cooperation.
Yeah.
Not that the European Union was very keen to continue that cooperation with the government that came to power by force, but it's also now asking the US military to leave, and that is a real big problem.
If the US leaves, then what does that open the door to? You say that's a really big problem, so explain why.
Look, once the US, the 1,000 US military personnel that runs primarily the base is gone, quite literally, we are blind and deaf in the region, because those drones were not just for kinetic operations within the region, but also for intelligence gathering throughout the region. And it's the only base that can do this in the entire region of West Africa, where we have now a large swathe of territory, as we discussed in previous interviews, controlled by either Al-Qaeda, the JNIM, the coalition of Al-Qaeda groups, and or the Islamic State, two affiliates, the Islamic State Sahel province or Greater Sahara, as before, ISGS or IS Sahel, and a second one, Islamic State West Africa province.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a problem. If you can't see, if you can't hear, it's really hard to do kinetic operations, which are indispensable when you have terror organizations controlling territory the size of small states now.
The government clearly is, as you said, turning towards Russia.
The reason why those mercenaries are able to control territories the size of small states in in Europe, for example, now, is because the weapons that they've received, sophisticated weapons, were provided by the many of those foreign militaries. Let us call it what it is. But they don't want, so the fact that Niger have put a stop to that, they can no longer create division in the communities. They can no longer spread the hate and the tribalism and all of that. And that is what they're really trying to do. And use that area to take out those they feel are going to stop them from their operations of extracting our resources for free. Are you following? Let us carry on.
And check me if I'm wrong on this, but several years ago, the presence of the Wagner Group with Yevgeny Prigozhin began to grow, and I would assume money started changing hands and other things started happening there. And so this military and others in the government, I suppose, decided maybe Russia's a better option for us to be partners with. What does Russia get out of this?
Well, first of all, it's really important to understand we had a wave of military coups throughout West Africa in the last 2 years, but particularly last year, where in short succession, Burkina Faso has another military coup. There was a quasi-attempted coup in Cote d'Ivoire. There was a coup in Ghana. There was a coup in Mali. Each time these coups happened, the Europeans and the Americans were asked to leave. I mean, first the French, then the Europeans, and then the Americans were asked to leave, and the Russians were invited in. Now,
the last time I checked, French are Europeans, unless I'm missing something. But the last time I checked, the French are Europeans. So when they tell the French to leave, yes, we know what the French have been doing for 14 African countries. They've been looting their resources. So don't try to say, oh, the French were told and then the Europeans. In fact, the French are looting the resources. I found some reports somewhere that a lot of the uranium that's been looted from Africa was not only being used to power the nuclear reactors in France, but it was also sold off to power nuclear reactors across a whole suite of nations in Europe. There's reports out there. I can dig it out if you want, but you can search it yourself. Don't take my word for it. It's just something to note. And I think we need to challenge things when we're going along. And this is what this is why I keep saying this. We need to be aware. Please, those of you that are sort of on this Bible thing and you're deep in the Bible and all of that, the Bible will not save you when this thing starts. So the Quran will not save you. It is there to simply occupy your mind. I say it without any equivocation. We need to be very, very clear. This is not a game. It is likely when you have the US are saying in Ukraine, we're not anywhere near, we're not going to let NATO interfere we're only going to support Ukraine. No weapons directly, no physical boots on the ground. We now have US boots on the ground in the same space as the Russian troops. Are you listening? Are you aware this is a potential danger on the African continent? Yes, Russia is there at the invitation of Niger. But when US is refusing, they are now making excuses. They are not even interested in what the people of Niger want or to respect what the wishes of the Niger people and the government. They are only interested in their own strategic interests. What does that tell us? What does that tell us? What does that tell us, my people? What does that tell us? I think we need to be very, very aware. So when you're spending hours and hours and you're discussing the Bible and the Quran and you're reading verses that somebody wrote and then you're confirming and you're wasting your time. We need to be focused on this. This is a impending danger. Listen on.
This puts the Russians really fair and square into a region where they could develop some pressure points, in particular for the European Union, because that's the region where large numbers of migrants, and given the fact that Al Qaeda and the Islamic State are taking over in the region, increasingly large flows of migrants are flowing northwards towards the European Union. So,
that is a ruse. You see, I'm glad they talked about that. There is a correlation between the foreign military actions of those military bases in the African continent. There's a correlation, and what actually happens on ground. There is a correlation. Oh, it's finished. It won't let me finish that. So there is a direct correlation. That is to say that every time the military bases take action and support mercenary and give weapons to mercenaries, the result is that a lot of Africans flee those areas and try to come to Europe. But they don't want you to know that. They keep saying, "Oh, actually, the military is preventing mercenaries from chasing people away." When in actual fact, that is what they're doing. The aim of the military is to ensure the mercenaries do not allow people to stay in areas, particularly where there are mineral resources. That's the reality of it. That's the reality of it. That's the reality. Let's go on.
Well, thank you so much for having me, JJ. This puts the Russians really, PMC Wagner, now renamed and the Islamic State, are taking over in the region. Yeah. Increasingly large flows of migrants are flowing northwards towards the European Union. So that is one pressure point that Russia is developing. Secondly, of course, holding a foothold in West Africa is a great game move by the Russians. It is accompanied by not only military relationships by the PMC Wagner, now renamed Africa Corps, but also by a very concerned, in cooperation in part with China, disinformation campaign, which basically tried.
So please tell me, what has been going on for 40 years when France has been looting, France and Europe has been looting African resources under the guise of protecting Africans? Is that not disinformation to Africans? Is that not disinformation? We should ask these questions. Please send these videos to your Islamic friends who are Africans, your Islamic friends who are Christians. Send it to them. We need to think about critical issues like this. This is an impending danger. Waris Jinadu, thank you very much. You said trade war exchange fẹ́ nǹkankan fẹ́ kí kankan inú China, Russia, US fẹ́ kankan bẹ́ẹ̀ni. So we are going to be doing this on our own terms. We need to be doing this on our own terms, and we have to be in control on the African continent. That is what we are saying. So those of you who are having discussions around religion, why I keep follow this religion, your discussion is not discussing this impending danger. This is impending danger that you are looking at. When the US are refusing to leave, they've been told by the people of Niger, leave our land. And the Niger and US are refusing to respect the rights of the people and the government to tell them to vacate their land. They're refusing. Let's listen on to a bit more of what he's saying here.
Is to denigrate democratic processes, the European political systems, the American systems, and essentially says, everyone from the UN downwards is betraying you. We are here, Russia and China, to take care of yourself. The problem is that these counterterrorism operations by Wagner Group / Africa Corps are very much making the situation worse.
So is it any worse than when US, that have been there for years, France, that have been there for years, have not once quelled the so-called foreign mercenaries that they funded, that they equipped to cause destabilization, all to access mineral resources? If you note, everywhere that France has got footprint, they are laden with mineral resources, and they are putting their military to protect those areas whilst chasing the people out of that land under the guise of fighting mercenaries. I don't want to be using that word T too much. You see what I'm saying? This is what is going on. Are you following? Please, those of you who are Africans, burying your head in the Quran and the Bible, this is serious. And it's not only in Niger. Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, we need to be supporting them. The Alliance of Sahel, we must encourage others to join. We must encourage other African countries to join. ECOWAS is a puppet of the EU. African Union is a puppet of the EU. Alliance of Sahel states, they are totally independent. Yes, they are having discussions and having military arrangements with Russia and in some cases China. But it is on their terms. And we cannot continue to allow the oppression of Africans on the African soil by anybody. Anybody. And that is what France and US and the entire EU structure has been based on, the oppression, suppression, impoverishment of Africans on the African continent. Please, your Bible and the Quran is not providing any solution to the question I just posed now. It isn't. Are you listening? Send this to your fellow brothers and sisters who are always going on about the Bible. Jesus Christ said. Jesus Christ is not going to solve the problem. Why is it that the Jesus Christ has not come and told them, right, you are doing this in my name. Stop. I forbid it. You must leave that land. Why hasn't he rained curses? Why hasn't he weakened? Why has that Jesus Christ not weakened the weapons that is being used to destroy many Africans on the African continent? Why? That tells you that that religion is there to deceive you. It is there to deceive you. And that's what we're trying to make us realize, and to hopefully at least wake up from this nonsense. So let's listen on a bit more.
Because they billing this as counterterrorism operations, what they really are regime survival operations. So they guarantee the survival of the new power brokers in these capitals. And
Nathan, I see you wrote Jesus came from the tribe of Israel. I'm not arguing about your Bible. I am saying, how is Jesus helping? How is Jesus stopping the exploitation of Africans? Please tell me, how is Allah stopping the exploitation of Africans by these foreign bodies? How is it? Please tell us, how is Jesus, your Jesus, how is it stopping the exploitation of Africans right now? How is Allah stopping the exploitation of African resources by these bodies, by both Arabs and Europeans? How are those gods stopping it? You need to get your face out of those books, please. It is not solving your problem. I'm not here to. I don't wish to abuse your religion. It doesn't serve any purpose for me. You know. I know you are not a Quranist, but you are both serving the same gods that believe that thou shalt serve no one else but me. That's what it is. But I'm saying to you, please, with what I just told you now, what is more important? I know you don't. I'm saying to you, how will Jesus? No. Please, okay, explain. Do you want to join me on a live broadcast and talk and explain it? I'll throw you an invite. Let me throw you an invite. I'll follow you, Nathan, and I will tell you. And then you can explain. If you want to join me. Yeah, join me, Nathan. If you want to join me, I will. Okay. Yeah. Hello? Yes. Hello.
Yeah, Brennan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So the reason why Jesus is not coming, right, bro, is you are the lost sheep of Israel.
Okay.
The reason why he's not coming, because have you heard in the Bible where it says Edomites, Ishmaelites, Hamites, Moabites, we were forced out of the land, right? So the Native American Indians,
Yes.
the Nigerians,
Okay.
they're all the lost tribe of Israel.
Okay.
That's why Jesus is not coming. Because if you do not wake up, brother, he's not coming.
Okay. So. Okay. I hear you. So in the meantime, you know that in Nigeria, in Nigeria I'm talking about now, over last year alone, 60,000 Nigerians have died at the hands of mercenaries. Just last year alone. Just last year alone. And the year before, there's another same amount. The year before that, same amount. The point I'm making, I'm not arguing about the religion. I'm not asking, I'm asking, you know, we the people, we are waking up. How are we going to stop this? Now that the government of Niger have told the US, who by the way brought this religion of under Jehovah Witness, brought the spread across Africa as well. They are not interested in that religion, they are interested in our resources. So whilst we are having a discussion about religion, these guys are prepared. A war could start right now. Look, Russia is in the same base, in the same military base in Niger with the US, and the US are refusing to leave. Now, if the US do something and they start off the war, it is not them that will feel the pain. It is the people of Africa. And we died for nothing for too long now. We need to put a stop to it. That is the issue here. Does that make sense to you?
It does make sense. That makes absolute sense.
So,
You have to hear.
yeah.
You have to hear as well, bro. You have to
Yeah, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
I know, yeah, I know how it seems, bro, but this is supposed to happen, bro. The end of the world is coming.
Okay.
The world is coming.
Okay.
This is supposed to happen. And I've told you before, like I said before, this is always going to happen. Every nation, every other nation hates Israelites. They hate Israelites.
I get that.
Anything they can to attack you, bro. So this is bound to happen, G. It's coming to an end. All I'm going to say, bro, is I'm not a Christian. I'm not a Christian.
I get that. That's fine. And thank you for clarifying that. I'm not going to listen. I'm not belittling anything you're saying, but I don't think. Do you think that what you just said now is providing a solution to the people who are asking the US to leave their land and the US are refusing to leave? They are point blankly refusing to leave. Is that providing the solution to these people?
No, bro, they're evil, bro. They're evil.
Okay.
The people of America are evil, bro. They're not going to stop, bro. This is what the Bible says. The devil is. The devil is an actual person.
Yes.
It's a bunch of people. They are the devil.
So what I mean, the people are now, thankfully, the people are doing the right thing. They are chasing them out. But the US, it seems like the danger with what they're doing is if they stay there, something can go wrong. They're in the same, there's only a barbed wire between Russian troops and the US troops. Somebody misfires and this thing goes off. No, I get you. I get what you're saying in religiously. That you know, all of that, you know, it's not something I believe in myself. I'm sorry to say it's not, because I'm not, no disrespect to your thought process, please. My ancestors, they have been on the African continent for eons. And my ancestors were welcome to all religions. They're not jealous gods. My ancestors. And what they are saying is that it is time for we, the sons of the African soil, for us to come back. We've let others damage the continent, in fact, in the entire world. We are meant to restore the balance on the African continent, and we are providing the leadership. We will provide the leadership for the rest of the world. For example, in the US and in Africa, 60% of the world's fertile land is in Africa. We can literally feed the world. But because of the wars that the US and all of these military bases are creating all over Africa, we can't feed ourselves because we keep being chased off our lands. So people are being impoverished. So on the one hand, I can see your theological discussion and I can reason with that. But the problem I'm having is that it might say, yes, these are the theology is saying that this is the consequences, and it's almost saying that it is something we can't avoid. So the question I'm asking is, okay, from a theological point of view, what do you think can happen, the people can do? Or what does the theology that you're reading to me, what solution does it prefer?
All I can tell you, bro, is that as people that have woken up today, we are doing our best to actually help Africa. Because there are brothers and sisters out there that are going to Africa and trying to help the best we can. This is just a small percentage of what will happen if everyone woke up, bro, and realized who they are. You're not black. I'm not white, bro. That's not our ethnicity. That's not our
I'm African. I'm African. I am African. In fact, I'll even go further. I'm Al-Kebulan. I am Al-Kebulan. That's who I am.
Okay, bro, but
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
okay, bro, okay.
No.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is what I'm saying, bro. This is the names that this is the labels we can put on.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
This isn't our God-given ethnicities.
Okay.
Israelites.
Okay.
Right. This is this is supposed to happen, right? The solution is, bro.
Yeah.
The solution is if because it's already improving right now, bro. You can see videos of Israelites waking up and they're coming together. Like have you seen the African Americans how they're waking up?
Yes.
How they're all coming together.
Yes.
We used to be so divided.
Yes.
Me, my brethren, my African American brethren.
Yes.
We were all asleep, right?
Yes. That's true.
We couldn't stand being around each other.
Yeah.
We were all coming together.
That's it.
We're
That's
going
it.
out and helping as many of our people as possible.
Yeah. Yes. I can see that. That is the solution. I agree. So and that is why in a way that is the same solution, because for the first time the people of various nations, the fake nations created by the colonials, the people in those areas are coming together across Africa and saying, no, we don't want this anymore. The alliance of Sahel states, there are 3 states now, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger. They've come together and created alliance of Sahel states. That means that if you attack one, you attack all of them. If you attack one, you attack all of them. So now, ECOWAS suddenly went, whoa, we cannot do this. We cannot be attacking our brothers. And that is a good thing, in a way. So it's kind of similar to what you're saying. People are beginning to wake up, and we need to encourage that. But nonetheless, we got to try and make people aware. We do not want a World War III starting off on the African continent.
No, that's the least we want, bro. I'm gonna be honest, I'll be so real. That's what we're trying to avoid. That's what me and my brethren are trying to avoid.
Yeah.
You gotta forget, bro. There's only so little of us that have woke up.
Yeah.
There's so little of us.
Yeah.
We need more.
We need more.
And this is the problem.
I agree with you. Listen, I'm gonna. We need to. I think I've added you. I'm following you. I like what you're saying.
I'm a bit with you, bro. Like,
Yeah.
We're here right now. We're spread across the 4 corners of the earth, right? And I have seen videos. I've seen videos where it's like over there, and it hurts, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I 100% understand when I see a brethren starving, thirsting, bro. It hurts, bro. It does hurt.
It does.
I understand the anger, bro. I understand the anger.
Well, it's not even anger now. Now, for me, I'm past the anger stage. Now, I need our people to know that we have look in Nigeria, for example, we have over 40 mineral resources. That makes us one of the richest places on earth. 40 mineral resources. That literally 220 million people. There should be 220 million billionaires. No joke. No joke. So now it's about awareness. It's not about getting angry. It's about awareness and how to raise the consciousness of our people, to such an extent to know who they are and to stand up for themselves. Because they've used so many tricks to deceive our people. How can the US be telling Niger, we're not going to leave your land. We're going to stay in your land.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah.
I swear I've been saying this.
Yeah. Somebody's trying to contact me on here. Hang on, let me see if they want to say something. Yeah, hello there. Hello? Hello, brother. Yes.
My name is Bonale Giwa. I sent you a message since morning, but you didn't open it. That's why I decided to call.
Sorry, I'm on a live broadcast right now. I'm sorry, I've been doing something, so I didn't miss it. But I will have a look at it. Is it to do with would you like sorry, go ahead.
No.
Okay.
I'll wait. When you're done, you can check it.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you so much. Thanks, my sister. Thanks. Bye. Okay, so like I was saying, what I'm trying to do right now, my brother, please help me spread the word as well. We need yourself. We need Islamic Africans and non-Africans to wake up and understand that right now, what we need awareness that the US must be, they have all of the military bases of the US, the French, the UK, the Germans, that are causing this unity on the African continent. They have to be compelled to leave. Because they are the ones at the root of what is going on. People are now waking up, like you said. A lot of people are now realizing. They are causing the problems in Sudan. They are causing it in Ethiopia. They are causing it in Congo. They are causing it in Niger. They are causing all certain Central African Republic. All over the place. Djibouti.
Yeah.
Congo.
I've been saying this, bro.
You know,
I've been saying this all the time.
so
I've been saying this to people all the time.
yeah. So
You
we
need to just stop allowing
exactly.
this nonsense.
Exactly.
Like,
So and it is true, like you're saying, it is through our unity. You know, and it is really important. And I'm so glad, honestly, I'm so grateful that you took the time to hear me and not take offense when I was talking about religion from that point of view. And I appreciate you, brother. I really am grateful. But we need to be talking more about this, and hopefully we can navigate. I have no doubt that, you know, I think all of the different, I believe something, that whatever we are all serving, they are all equally valid. And they all have a point of reference somehow. That's what I believe. So I wouldn't necessarily put one thing down against the other, but I think in the times and how people have come to that knowledge, it's fine. A lot of things that I'm finding out. I'll give you an example. I did not know until recently that in my ancestors we had 4 days a week, and those 4 days a week were tied to 28 days of the year, which followed the cycle of the moon. But the calendar that we've been brought under. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you want to know why, though? Do you want to know why your ancestors followed? Do you want to know why your ancestors followed 4 days?
Go ahead.
Because, and this is going to cut to the Bible, but listen.
Yeah. Go ahead.
This is where the Bible's been misconstrued by white Christians. They
Yeah.
lied to us the whole time. Bro. They've lied. The reason why your ancestors followed the 4 days is because the Sabbath was held on the 4th day originally. Your ancestors were Israelites, bro. They held on the 4th day.
Okay.
And to be an Israelite, bro, you're God's favorite. You are God's favorite.
Okay.
It's happening for a reason, bro.
Okay.
And we are trying to wake people up.
Okay,
Doing our best
brilliant.
as well, bro.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, my brother. Listen, do get in touch again, and I thank you for taking the time to engage in the discussion. And you've shed some light to areas that I wasn't aware of. I don't necessarily agree with everything you said, but I respect it nonetheless. And you know, it is through understanding each other that we can maybe make a pathway for us all to really get out of this mess. Because there's no doubt we are all in a mess created by a group of people, which is, you know, we have to say enough is enough. We need to come together and then put a stop to it. So, you know, I thank you very, very much, and I'm really appreciative of your comments. Thank you for joining me. And I feel you're always welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you, Pofu. Yeah, you too. Talk soon. Bye-bye. Bye. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I mean. I am not here, and I hope people can see that. I'm not here to rubbish any religion. In fact, I hold Christianity and Islam in the highest respect, particularly for those who are practicing it. And you know, if you're in the region of Islam, and if you're in Europe, if you're Arab in Arab land, but we need to understand that as Africans, or you know, as a Yoruba person, my blood runs the Yoruba, my ancestors, they are running through my veins. Now, if that means that those of us are calling ourselves Yoruba, some people see us as Israelites, they may see that. But my language is my language is my connection. My language is my roots, you know, and my culture, and my food, and my dance, and my music, and my development, and all of that, you know. So I am very proud of who I am. And that is why I am comfortable to be able to speak about subjects like this in a non-threatening manner, but being very firm and clear and direct what will need to happen. And I'm hoping that many of us will wake up as Africans and wake up, or wherever you are around the world, and be able to see the light that we bring to the discussions to awaken not only not just us, but many people around the world. And a lot of people don't realize that in Europe, in the West, there are people in the Western world who are against what is being done in many respects. They may be powerless to make that change themselves. But nonetheless, it is up to you and me, those who are the co-face, to make that change, to raise the awareness within our communities. And that's what we're trying to do. And the question still remains. Why is it that the US deems it its right to supersede the sovereignty of a nation that said to it, leave my land? The people, you won't see it on here, but you'll see it on, if you're watching on YouTube. Please follow Citizen AY on YouTube, help us build the platform. You know, arrogance. Yes, that's arrogance. Thank you. It is pure arrogance. But it is arrogance that we can no longer allow to rule things. We can no longer allow it. I'm going to try and do a list of nations with foreign bases on it. So list of African nations with foreign bases. Let me just put that up. I think I did one last time. List of African nations with foreign bases. Okay? Let's bring that up. And I'll give you that. I'll read the list to you. African nations with foreign bases. Yeah? Let's read that up. And what I'm saying to you is what Niger has done now must be done across the whole of Africa, which is an improvement on Africa. Okay, Windrush. Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for clarifying that, Windrush baby. That is something that is worth looking into, and I won't say no. Okay, we are Africans. I still say it. I'm a Yoruba man. I know that much. The language for me means a lot, and I live and breathe through. I'm here because my ancestors are here, and they are telling us to do this. That's why I'm not doing this of my own will like that. It is something that is part of my journey, and like many others, and that's why we're doing programs like this. But I appreciate your comments nonetheless, my brother Windrush. Now let us see if I can find many list of African nations with foreign bases. Foreign bases in their territory. Yeah? In their territory. So let us look at the list of nations so you can begin to understand. So when you say you are praying and your Bible and all of that stuff, you will see. Okay. So let us see. Where overseas military bases. Here we go. Let us have a look. I'm trying to see what I can find. What can I find? Now, so in Senegal, you got the French. You got in Chad again, they have the French. Let me see. I'm trying to find Africa. The ones I'm looking for was Africa, but they're giving me the whole list. The point I'm making is that in Africa, we have to make that decision ourselves, that we want to be, independent of these nations, that we know that they have ulterior motives. They have ulterior motives. Windrush, don't you think that it's time that time name they were black then? Windrush, don't you think that at the time of that name that they were black then? Okay, bases are not defining issue. The U.S. dimension of Nigeria without any basis. Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you about Nigeria, and I've been talking about it. As we speak now, Naira, our Naira is worthless, and people are receiving and trading on the Nigerian soil in dollars. Now the government is trying to make a change to it. I know that they are trying to make some change, but nonetheless, it is a major source of concern, because it renders, when you are using foreign currencies in your land, you are simply rendering your own currency worthless, and that is what is a major concern. As I'm talking to you now, so I agree with you, Windrush Ruby. One of the things that we are doing and we are advocating, there's several senior advocates of Nigeria. There's one person in particular, Femi Falana, who has been very, very vocal in saying that we need to de-dollarize from the US dollar. That is very, very relevant. It is something I subscribe to. It is something that we need to look at. As we all know, somebody mentioned Gaddafi. Gaddafi was trying to create a Africa-wide gold backed currency, whereby we will be trading as one Africa, with our own currency. And unfortunately, we know what came of Gaddafi. Prior to Arab takeover of Africa, we didn't use the term black. Yeah, I agree with you. We are Africans, or I say we are Africans. That's what I say. Specific, I'm a Yoruba man. I speak Yoruba, and in my language, there's a saying that we have. And there's a song, at the end of a song that we sing, it says this: Àwa ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. It means that we are the light, of the African race. That is how powerful we view ourselves. So these are, impeded usage. It would take a lot to get from under that currency. Yeah, but Nigeria is hugely impeded in the US dollar. It will take a lot. Yes, it will do. Tax, it will do. I agree. It will do. But, let me pin that. I agree. It will take a lot. Please continue to subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit the notification button. Give us a thumbs up. Help us grow the platform. Go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notification button. Give us a thumbs up. Help us reach more people on YouTube. And of course, follow us on TikTok. The topic we're discussing is that right now in the US and in Niger, the US are refusing to leave the territory, the sovereign territory of Niger, because they say they have invested money in their military base. But Niger is saying, we're not interested in what you've invested. We need our land back. You need to leave. And the US are refusing to remove the 1,000 military men and all of their equipment out of Niger. But they must. But going back to the issue about the currency, I have been advocating that Africa needs to set up our own currency system. We need an Africa-wide currency system. And here's why I suggest that. So I'm going to we're going to sort of, deviate slightly from the central topic, but it's all part of it. Here's why I believe that we need our own African currency. Currently, the financial system that is used to suck out the resources out of Africa is doing a fine job. It's doing a job that is keeping us oppressed and impoverished. So I'll give you an example. So far, 3 countries have stopped using the CFA in Africa. That is Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger. I'll tell you in a minute, Taz. I'll tell you in a minute. Let me pin that up. So I'll tell you in a minute, Taz. I'll tell you in a minute. But let me just quickly run through this, what I think we should do. So currently, the CFA is being used to reduce the value of our resources so that the French can buy it at dirt cheap prices, such as when Niger was still under the control, they were able to buy a kilogram of uranium at 70 cents per euro. Well, now, as soon as Niger left, Niger is selling at 200 euros per kilo, which is the real value. So that tells me, and then of course the dollar is doing the same thing with our oil. Our naira is worthless. Because the value of the naira is worthless, it means that the US can dictate the rate of the naira and the naira against the dollar and make it cheaper for them to buy Africa and Nigeria's petrol dirt cheap prices. It's the same policy. Again, wherever they use other countries that are used across Africa. It is all part of the design. It is part of what the World Bank, the IMF have designed to ensure that Africa never ever has a foothold or decide its own future. And of course, we've talked about the fact that there is no free movement for Africans across the African continent. Please subscribe to us on YouTube, hit the notification button, give us thumbs up. We are grateful for those of you that are following us so far, and let us continue to really, raise the level of awareness within our communities. There is a lot we can do. And I want you to really believe. We need to believe in ourselves. We do not need foreign currencies. I'm saying it categorical. We don't need it. What we need is to organize ourselves and create our own structures that will, that we can now use to underpin our interactions. We need to be interacting as Africans across the whole African continent. Free trade among Africans right now. That's what we must be encouraging. Right now, 82% of whatever we make in Africa is going straight out of Africa. Whatever is produced, whatever is extracted is going straight out of Africa. 82%. Only 18% of our trade happens amongst Africans. And it is so difficult because there are proximity. There are trade that's happening among proximity neighbors. So if you're a neighbor here, you can maybe trade. What should be happening, we should be trading amongst each other so that the money goes round. What we need to do is create a mechanism whereby the funds that we generate circulates and stays within the African economy. And that way, we can really build infrastructures that are long lasting. And the funds and the systems will really build that for us. And we can do. What is happening is that the system that is being imposed upon Africa is extracting resources. Hello, Bongani Morake. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Welcome on board. Hello. I greet you. So it is important that we begin to look at that. Now, going back to the question that my brother asked, what are my thoughts on BRICS? At this point, I wouldn't say no to it. I wouldn't say no to it. I would say whatever it is that we are going to, hello there, hello my brother. So let me ask you this. Hello my brother. So whatever, I wouldn't say no to the BRICS. It should not be our end game. In Africa, I would say don't say no to, I wouldn't say no to the BRICS, but that is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and of course, as we know, South Africa. I wouldn't say no to it, but what I will say is that it should be a stopgap. It should be a stopgap. Ultimately, Africa must be free. If we keep depending on others, the exploitation will simply continue. China uses Chinese language to do its business in China. Hello, Bogani, my brother, hello. Welcome on board. Hello, can you hear me? Yes, go ahead. Yes, what would you like to say? Welcome on board, I appreciate you. Go ahead, let's hear from you.
No, I am just listening to you, my brother.
Okay. I wondered if you would like to add anything to what I was saying, if you have any thoughts, because that's why I wanted to bring you on. I brought you on air so that you could say a few things. How do you see it? Should the US shouldn't the US leave the African continent? Don't you think? Do you agree?
No, she must leave Africa alone.
Yes, they must.
Yeah, she must leave Africa alone.
Yeah,
Yes.
and along with the French as well, they have to leave Africa alone, don't they?
Yes. Africa, she must be free.
That's it.
The Western country. Yes.
That is the way forward. I agree with you, and we have to all work towards that as Africans together, because we've been oppressed long enough. Just let me ask you a question. Do you support the Alliance of Sahel States of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger? Do you support them?
Yeah, it's all right.
Good.
It's a good job for that country. I wish South Africa can join that.
Yes.
And Nigeria.
Exactly.
Nigeria can join.
Yes. That's the thought process right there. Go ahead.
Nigeria.
Go on. Oh, 1 minute. Oh. 1 minute. Sorry. 1 minute. Yeah, go ahead, my brother. Go ahead.
We know, my brother.
Yes? Yes, I'm listening to you.
Nigeria and South Africa,
Yeah?
Nigeria and South Africa, she must stop to fight.
Yes.
She must fight to help the Niger and Burkina Faso to fight these people.
Okay.
Nigeria.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I am from Nigeria. Yes. 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 I am from Nigeria. I am.
Okay.
I am. I am from Nigeria, and it is very, very important that we fix that. Yes. Yeah,
Yes,
it is.
it's very important.
Mhm.
It's very important. But first, Nigeria and South Africa must stop to fight.
Yes, we must stop to fight each other. Yes, you're right.
Yes.
That is so, so true. So, so true. You're so right, my brother. You're so, so right. It is very, very important that we do that. My brother, I am so grateful for joining me, that you joined me. I am grateful. We must do more of this. We must do more of this. Oh, hang on. Can you cancel? I don't know what, my screen has gone dark. I don't know what's happening. I'm trying to cancel. Can you hear me? Can you all hear me? Unfortunately, can you all see me? I'm afraid my.
Yes, I see.
You see me? Okay. All right. I'll do it because I don't know what's happened here. My screen has gone dark. But listen, what do you think we should do in Africa? What should we do in Africa? What should we do to help each other? Should we? How can we continue to help each other? Because we need to wake up in Africa, don't we? Hello?
You must be together.
Yes.
If you want to win, you must be
Together. Mm-hmm.
Fight together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we must do. We must do. You're right. You're so right. You are so right. Yes. No, thank you so much, my brother. I'm not quite sure what's happening with my screen. I cannot see anything. My screen has gone frozen. Oh, here we go. I'm back. Okay. Yeah, so, yeah, we must be together. So, like my brother said, man, I cannot be. I just happened to see something now. I need to deal with that straight away. Yes. So, open borders to each other. Yes. Tasters. Yes. Open borders to each other. So, I guess what I'm really trying to say is that as Africans, we need to do, there's a lot of work for us to do. There's a lot of work for us all to do as Africans. We need to build that up. And we need to make sure that we do not allow for this constant division that's going on. We need to really be conscious of the attempts being made to keep us all divided. And we have to work towards ensuring that all the borders that we have, with the help of our government, which is selling us. Yes, what should we do? What we should do, start from ourselves as citizens with the help of our government, which are selling us. I like that. I like that comment. Yes, we must confront them. And the government, if you look at the people of Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali, the people are in support of their government. They are in support of the government. And that's what we need to do. You know, we need to, once the government, the right people came in, the people supported them. If you go and look at those countries, they support the actions of the government. If you go and look at ECOWAS government, none of the people support the government because the government is exploiting the people. Can you see the difference? And that is what we need to do. So today, you're right. Japanese public protested against military base of America in Japan. What happened? Okay, I'm not too sure. Did they have it in the end, or was it kicked out? I think it was. Don't forget, I know that Obasanjo rejected it at one point because they wanted to put African base in Nigeria, and they said no. So we must all be coming out and saying no, we don't want African or anything like that on the African continent in Nigeria or anywhere in Africa. We need to reject it. So that is really important point to make and to state right there. I am very, very conscious that many of our brothers and sisters, we are all waking up. I can see that. Trade with one another and stop trades with others. That's exactly it. That's the kind of thing we need to be doing. We need to be trading with one another, you know. So, Jibril Kamara, thank you very much. Hey, how was going? It's good, thanks, Jibril. So, we need to be trading among each other. We need to be trading among each other completely. And then, so we will then, actually to work Africa out, there are a lot of analysis to do. Yes, I agree with you, my brother. we need to analyze, assess and check things. I'm pinning, I am red one. I'm pinning your comments as well, and yes, and many of you as you're making the comments. That's what we need to do. We need to have lots of important discussions like this. I need us to know on the African continent, there is no section of our economy that is independent of colonization. There is no section. If you talk about spirituality, it is imposed, the religions of Islam and Christianity is imposed on us, and we have to follow that in many places. If you talk about economy, it is from outside. If you talk about education, it is from outside. If you talk about production, it is from outside. If you talk about food, it is from outside. There are no areas where Africa is free. And if you're not free in any area, you cannot do anything. And that is where discussions like this are very important. And it's so much that we need to work. It's just so simple. I don't know why our elders can't see it and do it. Yeah. They've been blinded for so long, but this generation is waking up. And I'm hoping that with time, those of us who are waking up and seeing this, we can begin to interact, because we need to be able to sell to each other. Why is it that for us to be able to do anything, you have to go and get paperwork to go from Nigeria to Benin Republic? You need paperwork. Whereas in Europe, the paperwork that they fill in is minimal. They make the flow of business in Europe so simple, so easy. It goes fast. Whereas in Africa, it is so slow that if you have, when you have fresh goods, by the time you get to the border, by the time you fill the papers, by the time you get it through the border, by the time you get to the other side, the food, perishable goods have gone. And that's because of the controls. And who benefits from the controls? Those who impose the controls on us, who have told our government, you must keep it in place. I'll give you an example. Many African countries do not provide subsidy for their farmers because the IMF and the World Bank says, no. You cannot provide subsidy to your farmers. No. You have to be very hard, and you have to be tough. That way, and then you can pay back the money quicker. That's not it. And that is very, very wrong. And we don't challenge it. Our leaders don't challenge those kind of thinking. Whereas in Europe, they give subsidies. They call something in some years back. They had something called the Common Agricultural Policy (CAP), and the farmers were getting that money to subsidize them. Sometimes when the crop is bad one year, they get the subsidy. It helps them through to the next year, and then the crop grows again. All of that. These are things we've been denied. Millet should be something we should be growing in Africa. We should not be relying on grains from abroad. But because they don't provide subsidy to our farmers, they cannot grow the millet to be able to feed the entire continent. These are things that we need to change, and we need to interact in our communities, and that is so important. That's Blue Afrique. Hi, my sister. Oh my gosh, it's been a minute. Blue Afrique. I did send you I sent you an invite, but I hadn't seen you for a bit. So it's great to see you back on here, and welcome on board. God's will, welcome on board. It's great. If anybody wants to make a comment, we welcome you. We are talking about the issue of the U.S. refusing to leave Niger, and what impact that is. And as we speak right now, of course, we all know that the Russian troops are in the same military base. They're in the same military base with the U.S., who are refusing to leave. Now, Niger welcomed the Russian military, and they told the U.S., you must leave. And the U.S. are saying, no, because of strategic interest, I don't want to leave. I need to stay there. I have to be. And that is not right. It is not acceptable. The U.S. has overstayed its welcome in Niger and in other places in Africa. And they have to leave. They got to learn to listen to what the people of the communities that they're going into are saying. When the communities are saying, you need to leave, the U.S. must respect the wishes of the people. They must respect. That in fact, since they're the ones who brought the Bible, that is a neighborly thing to do. When your neighbor says, we've had enough now, please start going. Pack your bags and leave. That is the Christian thing to do, isn't it? To leave when they've told you, we've had enough now. Thank you very much now. Go. But instead, the US says, no, we're going to stay. So what part of that is following the Christian belief system that they often like to talk about? What part of that is really, what part of it, And that is what we're trying to highlight and speak about. So I guess what we're saying here is that it's very, very important for us to be aware of this. And we need to continue to speak up and reject any of these bases. The bases now that are in and around Africa, the foreign military bases in and around Africa, they are there to cause destabilization. And they are there to extract our resources. In the Congo right now, the UN are in there, the US are in there, the French are in there, all of the Western, they are there to solely just take the resources, while the people are being given weapons to take each other out. The establishment of a military base in a foreign country is a form of military occupation. Thank you. Yes. Today, well said, my brother. This is the point that we're making. This is indeed the point that we're making. It is a military occupation, and it is why we need to be free. Now, this makes a lot of sense now. Those countries, I think I did a video. I'm going to try and find the video. Let me try and fish out the video where I spoke about all of these countries that the US had actually have bases. I'm going to try and dig it out, and then we may have a break. The plan wasn't, as you are waking people up, there is there a physical gathering? Yeah, I am ready. Send me a link. We are doing some Zoom discussions on Africa Zoom 54, a group that we created. And we meet up at least once a week now, 2 weeks. This week we may not meet up today, and we're trying to build that up and then extend it to a physical meeting at some point. So that is part of the discussion because we need it on ground. And particularly one of the things we are trying to encourage is that our community to start talking among each other, to start seeing solutions about their own problems within their own community. So that way people can start meeting up. We don't have to all meet up immediately like this, but we can start doing it within our communities right now and encouraging us discussing. So that is part of the plan. I am ready one. Yeah. Okay. Yes, please. Yes, please. Yeah, I will do. We'll do. So send it to me, and all of us, we need to do this. It's very, very important that we begin to do work like this. Not to have the bite beating people among. Please let them. Yes. Yeah. So what we need this work and this discussion to be going on a regular and a consistent basis. And all of us must make sure that all we are saying, we are not spreading hate, because a lot of people start, when you say what I'm saying, people say I'm spreading hate. It's not about hate. It's about loving ourselves as Africans and knowing that we have to build our communities together. It is so important. It is so important that we do that as a community. Many of us don't really connect to that at all. We just completely, we've been so made to focus outside of ourselves. We need to focus into ourselves, into our communities, and that's what we're looking at. We will continue this discussion. I'm going to have a little bit of a break now. I was planning to do something else, and I want to thank everybody that's been following and leaving comments. I'm going to be in touch. Let me see. I'm going to be in touch with you and give you further updates. And let me thank those of you who are on YouTube who've been making comments. Make sure you follow us on YouTube and, of course, on TikTok and, of course, on Instagram and Xspace and all the platforms that we have. I would really appreciate your support. I want to thank Wallace Jinodu. He's been making a lot of comments on YouTube. I'm grateful. I mentioned trade war exchange. I said Yankee proxy war. Odajuro, Benny. So, African-based Djibouti. So, yeah, we're talking about these things, Join your live another time too. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. So for now, let me have a bit of a break. I'm going to come back. I need to go and do one or two things. I'll have a bit of a break. We'll come back and talk about other issues as well. There's a lot to cover, but like I said, thank you so much. And I'll be back later on. And in the meantime, I thank you all so much. You've been listening to Seasonewa, the platform where we speak to power. Please keep this discussion going. Make every African aware that the US are refusing to leave Niger, a sovereign nation that's saying you must leave, and they have no right to do so. Imagine if any African country went into the US and said, I'm refusing to leave. You know what would happen? They would kick them out. So this is using of power to actually oppress those that that clearly don't have that power, and that is not right. And that tells you we do not want to have anything to do with nations that are doing this kind of bully boy tactics. It is very, very wrong. So thank you very much. So what I will say is I'll be back later on. Please leave thoughts and comments on this podcast. Thank you so much for watching. You've been listening to Seasonewa, the platform where we speak truth power. I will be back in a bit. Thank you and bye for now. Bye for now. One second, I can't seem to. Okay. It's not letting me go out. I can't seem to leave. 1 second. Okay. I don't know what's going on. 1 minute. It doesn't let me go for some reason. So I'm trying to end it, but it's not letting me do it. So I'm going to have to go off, I think. I'll switch you off. Thank you very much for joining. I'll be back later on. HRM Yabodiomo. Thank you so much. I'll be back later on. Thank you and bye for now. Let's try again. It's not letting me go for some reason. Okay, we're going to have to end it this way. So those of you on YouTube, thank you so much. Thank you for joining me. You'll be listening to Seasonewa, the platform where we speak truth power. My brother, thank you so much for your valuable comments, and we appreciate them. Please don't forget, continue to subscribe, hit the notification button, give us a thumbs up, help us grow the platform. We are over 3,000 now, and we are grateful for your support. So please subscribe, hit the notification button, give us a thumbs up, and of course, share the podcast. Thank you, and bye for now. Bye for now.